Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics here at The Hindu with me, Nistula Hebbar, where we unpack the news making the headlines in domestic politics. I return this week after a break, not a holiday, but a break in the program, to a week where the NDA government presented its last full budget before the general elections of 2024. Budgets in India, at least, are keenly anticipated, and the build-up is no less than that for a Bollywood Friday opening, grand opening. The same was the case this year. Electoral politics is deeply influenced by the state of the economy, the taxation structure, and the health of people's bank balances. In the words of political strategist George Cavill, who helped in the successful presidential campaign of Bill Clinton against George Bush Sr. in 1992, it's the economy, stupid. That's the slogan he came up with to highlight the failures of the Bush administration in the field of the economy, and that is what swung the elections, according to many people, in favor of Bill Clinton. So therefore, bread and butter issues almost always trump other sentiments beyond a certain limit. Now, for the BJP, this budget is the testament on which way the party will go into the 2024 general elections. And in the budget speech rendered by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Wednesday, we actually find the structure of the BJP's social coalition and support base coming together. Now, it's no secret that the BJP has, since the advent of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the pole position in the party, worked hard and successfully to increase its footprint across the country and among various communities. Earlier, the BJP was only identified as a Brahmin Baniya party, that is largely an upper caste party, and solely fighting for Hindu identity issues. And the BJP has, via social engineering of its leadership base, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, belonging to a backward community. As I have said in previous episodes of Talking Politics, he is India's second Prime Minister belonging to a backward community after Mr. Deve Gowda. Apart from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, several leaders, ministers in the union government, etc., are also drawn from marginalized communities which previously were not supposed to be in the support base of the BJP. But the leadership is not the only thing that has changed in the BJP. It has worked hard, especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi, via welfare programs targeted at backward and marginalized communities like the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, the Swachh Bharat toilet construction program, Ujjwala Yojana of free gas connections, and Har Ghar Nal, which is tap water connection to each household, etc., to create a class of Labhartis or beneficiaries. This class, plus the empowerment through party tickets during the polls and ministerial berths, have seen a large number of non-Yadav OBCs and non-Jatav Dalits being carved out from larger groupings under other parties that had existed earlier, especially socialist parties like the Samajwadi Party. So if you see, there is identity, and then there is a class of Labhartis, and that has made an unbeatable combination for the BJP in election after election. This class of Labhartis or welfare beneficiaries used to be a kind of a platform that was in the older Congress of Indira Gandhi, of the Garibi Hatao slogan, etc., and southern parties where the welfare component in terms of government programs is very, very high. You had the midday meal in Tamil Nadu. It started with Tamil Nadu, a midday meal scheme and other such schemes. And the BJP seems to have taken it on whole scale because it found that this was a very, very important kind of component of building a very broad social base that exists today. Now, many of the previous budgets of the Modi government were counterintuitive, therefore, in terms of what was considered the traditional support base, that is the Brahmin Banya party, that is upper castes among caste groups, and the middle class in terms of economic strength. So the middle class, which was enamored of the BJP's social agenda, had gradually started to feel alienated over the last 8 years. Now, after 2 years of an economy crushing pandemic and global wars like the Russia Ukraine war that has affected the global economy and organized employment, where the middle class is usually employed, this feeling was growing that the BJP seemed prepared to open the coffers of a government led by it, for its new social coalition, but only held out the prospect of a Ram temple in Ayodhya and civilizational issues and Hindu nationalism, etc., as an important identity issue for the middle class. For the middle class, of course, both are extremely important. And to neglect one for the other was not very palatable for them. So, we come to the 2023-24 budget, which is a document that tries to bridge the gaps between the different old and new support bases of the BJP. After nearly 9 years of Prime Minister Modi being in power, the middle class basically made a comeback in the economic architecture of the government. Tax slabs were rejigged to be made into 5 slabs. Income tax exemption slab went up from rupees 5 lakh per annum to rupees 7 lakhs per annum, and the slabs held out a promise, although the jury is out on that one, that the middle class may save on tax money after all. It will have some money in hand, disposable income may increase because of the change in tax slabs, and may give a demand-driven kick to the economy, to kickstart to the economy, etc. Now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the government was foregoing a revenue of up to rupees 35,000 crores with all this. Now, having done this, however, it's not as if the newest support base of the BJP, which is the Labharti, the really massive Labharti class of beneficiaries of welfare programs, was being ignored. Now, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was the biggest beneficiary of this budget this year. Last year, it was the Har Ghar Nal program, which was one of the flagship drinking water programs, tap connections to each household. This year, it is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which has become the biggest beneficiary of the union budget. It saw a 66% hike in allocations to 79,000 crores. Much of this will be spent in tier 2 and 3 cities. This is the urban poor after having gone into the rural poor areas, poverty, addressing rural poverty. Urban poor may get to have their own homes. Now, several BJP leaders have told me in the past, and indeed my own travels during the 2019 elections across many states demonstrated that this was one of the most popular programs of the government, for the simple reason that it created a permanent asset for the poor, a dwelling place. Imagine you being extremely poor, but the government subsidizing you to build your own house. Now, what would be the impact of that politically? You just need to imagine that. It won't take much of imagination to come up with what that would mean. All other programs were related to, free food or cash transfers or required replenishing of one's own accord, like the free cooking gas connection. But this was a permanent asset. It remained with you as you built it. Now, the budget also allocated 15,000 crores over the next 3 years for saturation coverage in areas where particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs, live. This was done under a new mission called the PVTG mission. And saturation coverage means that whatever the government programs are there for the poor will be implemented 100%. So in areas where the PVTGs are there, this would be the aim, and 15,000 crores have been set aside. Some of it will be with the Tribal Development Ministry. Others will be in specific ministries which do specific tasks, like the Jal Jeevan Mission or the Roads Ministry, etc., where drinking water, roads, highways, village roads, etc., need to be constructed. it shows very clearly that the BJP is keen, as evidenced by the election of President Draupadi Murmu to the highest post of the land, to find support among India's tribal communities. It's an important section of the population. In some areas, it does vote for the BJP. These communities do vote for the BJP, but in many areas, they still owe a lot of loyalty to the Congress. And this has an importance more than just numerically, more than their own numbers. The community of tribals is important in the field of identity politics and the appropriation of subaltern voices, where the BJP can demonstrate that it is not, yet again, an upper caste, upper class party, and that it can appropriate or bring under or co-opt or bring under its umbrella all communities across all sections of society. A new support group created by the BJP and especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been that of women. Now, he has been on record to say that several of his electoral victories, notably Bihar in 2020, that was an election that I saw very, very clearly go the NDA's way. Finally, it was a tight election, but the women did come out in support for the NDA, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, who has also done a lot to cultivate that constituency. That election, of course, was won because of women, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been very open in acknowledging that he has had support from women, and his electoral success owes a lot to the support of women. So therefore, while the Ujjwala Yojana, Har Ghar Jal initiative, Swachh Bharat toilet construction and banking coverage, Mudra loans, etc. Now, these are all programs that women can get behind. At some point or the other, they do benefit women. The budget also announced a small savings instrument for women called a Samman Patra that would yield 7.5% interest rate for a deposit of up to 2 lakhs. This would help rural women kind of build up savings. Now, seen like this, it is clearly demonstrated that the union budget has been an attempt to draw together the various skeins of the BJP's now vastly expanded support base. Now, to give this support base a reason to stick with the party, this union budget was quite important. Now, the whole of the next week, the BJP will be fanning out across the country to spread the word on the budget's main point. It will be through press conferences and through community meetings and with intellectuals and what they call Prabhavi Jan, or people who are influential in their own communities. And it will be kind of put out that after years and years, the middle class have made a comeback in the union budget, and that the poor have not been ignored in this co-option, yet again, of the middle class in the budget. Now, the bottom line, even in electoral politics, therefore, especially electoral politics, which is at its base a popularity contest, remains the economy. Now, I'm not going to say the word stupid yet again, but the bottom line seems to be extremely clear, and the BJP seems to be extremely aware that this is so. This is all I have for you this week. Thank you for watching.